Well, obviously excited about opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament. Going to have hopefully another good practice and then move on to Des Moines, play a really good Louisville team. Just watching them play, they've had a really good year. I mean, they've had some moments. They were up big versus Duke, had them beat. Obviously Duke came back and found a way to win it, but they shoot the basketball very well. Jordan Nwora is one of the most improved players I've ever seen. He's terrific. They've got good personnel. Chris Mack does a really good job. So we've got to bring our best, and we're excited. Obviously, playing in Des Moines is great. I can't imagine the Gophers have ever had a closer NCAA tournament site, in their 14 times of being there. So hopefully we have a great turnout.
Sort of like you guys, Louisville had a pretty tough schedule down the stretch. They lost a number of games in a row. But do you think momentum matters much?
I don't think it matters. No, I really don't. I mean, so much of that is the schedule. You get into the bulk of your ACC schedule, your Big Ten schedule. I think both teams are excited they're in the NCAA tournament, and you move on from what happened before. Obviously, you try to stay healthy, and you prepare for your next opponent. But it's a new season. Everybody's excited.
Richard, I know you talked about it on Sunday a little bit, but can you just reflect a little bit on what this team has been through to get to this point? And I mean,
yeah, I think if you go back to the older guys, Michael Hurt, Dupree, Jordan, Eric Curry, those, or even just Dupree and Murph to play on an 8-win team, and everybody really doubt them, rightfully so, by the way. You lose, you win 8, you should be criticized and doubted, and then you come back and you have 24 wins, 5 seed in the NCAA tournament when nobody really thought that. Then last year, high expectations, everything kind of ripped out from underneath them, and then the uncertainty of going into this year, 5 new players, not really knowing what this year would bring, to get back to the NCAA tournament, that's special. To have to go into the Big Ten tournament, maybe you have to win a game, maybe you have to win 2 to solidify an NCAA tournament berth. In a winner-go-home setting is special. To deal with Eric Curry's injury, that was a big injury. Dupree McBride, the death of his mother. I mean, that's traumatic. Mott's losing his father. So, it's so many things that have happened. And I think this group's been very even keel. I think that's the strength of this group. They're not real emotional one way or the other. So proud of them for being able to get a berth, obviously one of the toughest conferences in all of college basketball.
For you, Richard, how does this, go through all the stuff that you just talked about personally as well, and the questions about your job coming into this year? How satisfying is this to have these guys bounce back after expectations last year fell apart?
Yeah, I got little kids. I like it here. It humanize it as much as you want, but I want to be here. And you read things and you hear things, and it's not a knock on the media. I understand you got to do your jobs. And so, when you see your picture up there as on the hot seat, and if he doesn't make the tournament, he's fired. And I don't know if it's true or not. I didn't want to ask Mark. But when you're able to do that, it's fulfilling. And, hopefully we can make a little run at it and continue to build this program.
Oh, Richard, obviously along those lines, you've got a local that it seems like you do the math, he goes to an extent, meaning Amir Coffey when he plays well. Is there a tendency now when you get to the tournament and you shorten the bench, you do some different things to put the ball in his hands and say, go win it for us?
Well, obviously, when he's scoring the ball, our record's pretty good. I never like to put too much pressure on one guy. I think they're all kind of connected offensively and defensively. Everybody's got to do their part. Amir scores a lot at times, but it's not like he shoots a lot. Like even Murph had 27 versus Penn State. I don't think he took a lot of shots. I don't think that's necessarily the way the offense is designed. But yes, he needs to be the type of player that he is in order for us to advance. And he likes that big moment. We need him to be assertive, I guess, is to answer your question. We need him to be aggressive, to attack.
Season on Amir, where did you see him making the biggest improvement in his game? Just because last year, obviously, with the injuries, he didn't really get to, even in the offseason, he didn't get to do much.
That's the biggest thing, was getting healthy. He missed a lot of the season, especially the important part of the Big Ten. So for Amir, he had a really good freshman year. And he's almost like a Daniel or a Gabe. Like, don't skip steps. Step one's been really good. Just continue to improve. Amir did that, and then he got hurt. So he's just getting healthy more than anything.
Physically, obviously at 6'8", but do you think that he worked on getting stronger, tougher from his freshman year, just being able to take the hits?
Yeah, I mean, he's put on weight, but he's, you get tougher with confidence. You get a little bit older. You experience the Big Ten. It's such a physical league, and you try to tell these young guys about it, but they never really know until they experience it. But I've never noticed softness from Amir. He might be skinny, but he's put on weight. And he's been very, very reliable. I mean, he led the Big Ten in minutes as a freshman for an NCAA tournament team. So he's a pretty tough kid.
When he does slump at times, is that on him more, or what certain teams are able to do against him to slow him down?
It's probably both. I mean, and it could be the other guys on the team. It's all kind of connected. The opponent matters. I know versus Michigan, at our place, he had a bad game. Give credit to Michigan. Michigan's a terrific defensive team. And when you don't have 5 guys scoring and being a threat, you become easy to guard. So for Amir, I think he's had a terrific year, and we need him to continue to be really good.
To jump off the emotions part, how do you manage that now going into the tournament? They've been through so much. You want them to have it, but you also want them to be even-keeled, right?
Well, this group is not real emotional. I don't think I worry about it as much. I mean, Jarvis is emotional, Daniel's emotional, but the rest of them are like right there, which is good. So I don't think they're going to get too over the top with all that. Enjoy it. Be excited about being in the NCAA tournament. Like I said, we've been 14 times unofficially, 10 officially. It's not a lot. Embrace it. Be excited about it. But then understand, make it about basketball when it needs to be about basketball. We're on spring break. Our players should be locked in on enjoying your experience, but also focusing on beating a really good Louisville team.
It seemed like early in the season Daniel was having some trouble around the basket, and by later in the season he was making moves and getting his own shot. How did you guys get him to that point?
It's just working through physicality. Big kids are hard because they don't go against other big kids. They don't go against the schemes in high school like they do in the college game. And he's got that offensive talent. He's really, really gifted at putting the ball in the basket. And kind of like you're like, it's not going to happen. All of a sudden he finds a way to make it happen. That's game reps, experience, working against other big guys every single day. It takes time, but I think Daniel's had a terrific freshman year. I think he's going to have a great offseason, put on some weight, get stronger. I think he's primed for, really good things to come.
He had to play 20 minutes a game or something like that. You had to play him. Is he ready to play a significant role?
Well, it was funny when we played him versus Michigan. Everybody was exhausted, and he wasn't tired at all. He's like jumping over people. He's got great energy. He hasn't played as much as Gabe and Daniel, but that's because of Jordan Murphy. It's not because of him. I still love his future. I think it's really, really bright. He's got the intangibles from a leadership standpoint better than maybe any kid I've ever seen. Offensively, there's things he can get better at, but he can go and compete and battle versus anybody. So he'll be ready to go. I don't know if we're going to get Mons back or not. He didn't go yesterday, so we'll see today how he responds. Those concussions, it's kind of a day-by-day thing to see if those symptoms, if they decline or not.